Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about this little computer that I wear on my wrist. I want to tell you about my experience with it, the apps I use on it, and also why I think it is particularly great as a remote worker. I first got an Apple Watch about a year and a half ago. I bought the Series 1, the 38mm size, which was the smaller of the two sizes, and just recently I upgraded to the Series 4, so this is the newest version at the time that I'm filming this. And for this one I have the 40mm, which is, again, the smaller size of the two. And the main reason that I personally upgraded is because this one has a faster processor in it, so it's noticeably quicker when I'm navigating through apps and things like that. And also it is waterproof. The Series 1 was water resistant, I think, like you could have it in the shower, but you couldn't go swimming with it, and I wanted to be able to use it to track swimming workouts, so this one can do that. Luckily, even though the design of the watch itself, the Series 4, is slightly different to the past versions, the same watch bands still fit. So I purchased this brown leather strap when I bought my first Apple Watch, just because I felt like it was, I don't know, it looked nicer and it fit me better as well, the way that the leather strap goes compared to the sport band. When you buy a watch, it always comes with the strap, so when I upgraded, I got the sport band version, which is kind of like a Velcro thing, and it's a good one to wear while working out. It's kind of like fabric-y. The two main things that I use my watch for, aside from telling the time, of course, is work and workouts. So let me just tell you a little bit about each of those. I find the Apple Watch really handy during my work day because I have my calendar on screen. This shows me what my next upcoming appointment is, and I have both my personal calendar with my side project stuff or whatever, and also my work calendar in there. So I always know what's coming up next and can just be aware of it and how much time that I have to go before it. A way I like to work that I've mentioned in videos before is using the Pomodoro technique. Basically, this means you work in a solid focus block for 25 minutes, then you have a 5-minute break. Another 25-minute block, another 5-minute break, etc. I find that using this technique is a really good way to help me stay focused and help me get stuff done, because I'll set a task for myself to do within that 25-minute block. And I have an app on my watch that does the Pomodoro timer thing, so I don't have to always be setting a timer. So basically I just tap it, start focus, and when it counts down to the end, it will count down my break for me as well and tell me when I should get back to work. I love having this on my wrist because I can easily just quickly look down and it'll tell me how long I've got left in the block, and I'll be like, okay, 7 more minutes. I can do work for that long before I check Twitter. It's pretty unobtrusive. It just gives me a little buzz on the wrist when I'm done, and then I know I can take a break. And it's really good for keeping me on track throughout the day. And speaking of focus, another reason why I think the Apple Watch really helps with my work day is because of notifications. And that might sound counterproductive because I know that getting too many notifications can be really distracting, and it definitely is on my phone. When I would see a notification flash up on the screen on my phone, I would pick it up to check what it was, and then because I'm holding my phone, I'm inevitably going to end up going into some apps, scrolling on Twitter for a while. With my watch, I get a little buzz on my wrist when a notification comes in, and then you just kind of lift your arm up and it'll flash up on the screen. This means that I can be aware of what's happening, but it's not super easy to reply from my watch. It is possible, but it's not a great user experience, so I don't really find myself doing that. I find I focus best when my phone is in a different room, so I'm just not even tempted by it. But when I do that, I'm worried that I'm missing out on something urgent, or something that really I need to respond to, missing a phone call or something like that. And because all of those notifications show up on here, I don't need to worry about it because I'm still being made aware of all of the stuff that's happening, and I can check it and decide if I need to attend to it right now, or if maybe it could wait until my next break. And to be honest, usually it can wait. So it reassures me that I'm not missing anything, but it allows me to, keep focused and keep working. Just like on your phone, you can choose what apps you actually get a notification for on your watch as well. And then the last little thing I want to point out to do with work is I have a New York time zone down here in the corner. Most of my team members are in the States, and I'm not very good at remembering time zones in my head. So it's nice to just be able to quickly glance and see around about what time it is in their workday. All right, next up is workouts. So before I got an Apple Watch, I wore a Fitbit. It was just one of the little digital pedometer things, so it just counted steps. The Apple Watch counts steps too, but it also it measures your heart rate. So it can measure calories burned and things like that. So it's, a lot more accurate than my little Fitbit was. I'm sure you've heard of this, but the Apple Watch has a thing called activity rings. So basically every day it wants you to burn a certain amount of calories and your ring will fill up as you burn through them. It wants you to exercise for at least 30 minutes. I think if your heart rate goes over a certain amount, then it counts as exercise. And then in the middle here is standing. It wants you to get up and move around every hour. That's really healthy for you to not like stay in one place too long, keep your body moving. I find the activity rings really motivating. I like achieving things, and it also gives you little badges and things like that, which you can see here in my app on my phone. When you like, I don't know, achieve 200% of your goal, or you hit it X number of days in a row, that's always really satisfying. I've been really surprised since becoming a remote worker at how little I move per day if I'm just like going about my regular day and not aware and like intending on moving or exercising. So I like having the rings because it makes me aware of how little I'm moving basically, and it encourages me to get up and go do more. When your office is right next door to your bedroom, then you don't have to go far to go to work in the morning. So you have to be a lot more purposeful about how you move. So for me personally, I find the activity rings really motivating, and I think it is definitely having a huge impact on my health as a remote worker. So now that I've professed my love for activity rings, let me show you the workouts app. So this is what I use when I track a workout basically. So if I'm going for a walk around the park, if I'm going for a run on the treadmill, going for a swim, doing weights, I will always start the workout here in the app before I do, and then it'll like log it as I'm going. When you're doing a workout, it shows you like how many kilometers you've gone, if it's like a distance-based one, what your heart rate is, how many calories you've burned. So those are the main functions that I use on my watch. And I just want to quickly show you what watch faces I have set up, because you can pick from many different like templates and customize them to suit whatever you personally use. So this right here was the first watch face that I set up, and the one that I used for quite a long time. It's just got the date, the time. That's my calendar in the middle there, showing me what my next coming up appointment is that I really like. Got the weather, I've got my rings, and this is a Pomodoro timer. The next one is the one that I would then swipe along and switch to when I'm doing a workout. So it shows my activity rings super large behind the clock. Click on workouts at the top there, and then my heart rate, and then I just have the timer at the bottom too. This watch face here though is my new fave, and this design came out with the Series 4, so it's a pretty recent one. With this I can fit a lot more stuff, but I think it's nicely designed, like it doesn't look too cluttered. I've got my calendar up the top there wrapping around the clock, and I can just tap on that to go into it and see what's happening. I've got my activity up in the top left, the weather at the top right, and I like that this one shows me what the high and low is of the day. Then, like I was talking about, I have my New York time zone in the corner, and then Wellington time zone in the other corner because my family all lives in New Zealand. In the middle, I've showed the date because I can never remember what day it is, and I'm always checking my watch to tell me what the date is. Got my activity rings. On the side here, I have my timer, and then this here is a different Pomodoro app. I've switched to using this one. It's called Focus because it has a complication, is what they're called, that works with this watch face. I think that the people who made this old one that I was using, that I can't quite remember the name of, I think it was called Focus Timer. But yeah, they haven't updated it, so it's not possible to be used on here. Then if I like really want to switch off and not think about the weather or my calendar or anything like that, or be like guilted into doing exercise, I suppose, looking at my rings, I have this last watch face, which is just a clock, and behind it is this very soothing little animation. A function of the Apple Watch that I don't use that often is breathe, where basically it'll just give you a reminder to sit and take a breath. It's quite nice whenever I do it, so I should probably do it more. It's kind of like a couple minutes of some meditation where you breathe in time to this thing, zooming in and out, and it is very calming. So that's my watch faces, and that's my watch. People often ask me if I would say it's worth getting, and you know, if I would recommend they buy one, and I don't know if I can tell you that. I think that you have to decide that for yourselves. I personally really like gadgets, so I like having this thing, and I find it really useful for all of the reasons that I just said, especially the keeping me moving one. Now that I've become a remote worker, keeping me moving is really important, and yeah, staying up to date with my team and my calendar and all of that, it has been really handy for work. Obviously, Apple Watches do not come cheap, so I do think of it more as a luxury, really nice to have, rather than something that is necessary for your daily life. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing about why I do like my Apple Watch and how I use it. I don't normally make videos like this, I know. I normally make videos about design, so if you're new to my channel and you're expecting more tech reviews, It's not normally what I do, but I do talk about design software and like, you know, the computers I use for design every so often. So if you're into that sort of thing, click subscribe and I will see you back here for the next one. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. If you use an Apple Watch as well, tell me what your favorite like feature of it is. I'm always interested in hearing how other people use theirs, you know, because they are so customizable and so personal. So yeah, share that down below in the comments. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.